Welcome to the Martial Art Innovations Podcast. I'm your host, Don Frack. I'm the owner and head instructor at Martial Art Innovations in Covina, California. And today I'm going to be talking about not outsourcing your safety. And what I mean by not outsourcing your safety means on not relying so much on technology and others when it comes to your personal safety or the personal safety of your family. A couple of examples of this. One would be the use of our smartphones. We rely on them a lot to get us where we want to go to a new location. Prior to smartphones, you would get onto the computer, use MapQuest, print out the maps, and use the directions from that. And prior to that, you would call the venue and get directions, or perhaps even use something like a Thomas Brothers guide. Bonus points to you if you happen to know what a Thomas Brothers guide is. But one of the downsides to using your phone is that typically we punch in the directions and then we head off to wherever it is that we're going without paying attention to the landmarks and the surrounding area so much as we are the directions that are on our phone. And the consequence of this is that even when we get to our venue, we really don't know how we got there. We just followed our phone. So if there is not a signal when you get to where you're going, it's going to make it difficult to head back because instead of using landmarks and things like that, we're using our phone as that guide. So what I would suggest is that even though you're using your phone, you want to make sure to pay attention to cross streets, landmarks, things that you can identify where you're at, where you're located. By the way, if you're going somewhere and you are not sure if you're going to have a good cell signal there, many phones, at least on Google Maps, can download the area to your phone and make a small file that is available offline. That way, if you lose your cell signal, your GPS signal still will go through, and you can use the GPS in your phone and the downloaded map to be able to find your way back to your house or wherever you're coming from. So my suggestion would be is to make sure that we have a balance of the two. We use modern technology for the convenience that it provides to us, but we have good old school backups, including our awareness of our surroundings and, like I said, landmarks and things like that. Another thing I would suggest is that we don't outsource our safety to the venues that we go to. Just because you're going someplace and we should assume that it's safe, and in general, that's the case, we want to make sure that we are responsible for our own safety. So if you go to a concert or a movie theater or even out to a restaurant, it's your responsibility to know what to do and where to go should an emergency happen and you have to leave that venue. And if you've got loved ones with you, you should have a basic game plan together. I myself, if I go out to a large venue, a concert or sporting event or something like that, and I'm with my family, we make sure to have 2 rally points. One of those rally points is right outside the venue that we can meet up together. The other one is the vehicle that we came in. That could be a rally point also. That way, if the building has to be evacuated, we can get out and meet up somewhere that's been pre-designated if we get separated. That way, everybody can feel comfortable. Yes, we'd like to think that we can use our cell phones to call each other again, but that relies that we have that signal. If going into the venue, you say, hey, here's the spot outside the venue where we're going to meet up if there should have to be some sort of evacuation, at least we've discussed that. And a backup plan to that, if you have to move further away from it, would be the parking lot or wherever it is that your car is as a secondary rally point. That way, if there's something that happens that doesn't allow you to stop and gather at your original location, you have a backup location. When you go to a restaurant or a movie theater, you should know what the exits are. You should know how to leave any venue that you go into in a direction other than the one you came in. So when you go to a movie theater, besides the lobby area that you went into, you need to make sure you know where the exits are. This is also true within a restaurant. So in the case of a movie theater, typically the exits are down near the front of the screen. Sometimes it's more to the sides. They sometimes have some to the rear. In a restaurant, there's usually exits to the side of the building. But if you're in a restaurant like a small mom and pop type place, they might not have something like that. But generally, if you go toward the kitchen, there'll be an exit there because that's where we usually take in deliveries or where the employees will come in from there. So just be mindful of what your exits are. And when it comes to safety, I wouldn't outsource to technology here again in your vehicle, things like backup cameras. although I do think these are a tremendous benefit to have in a vehicle, I think we should not just rely on those. I see far too often that someone just stares at the camera, looks at that, backs in, and isn't paying attention to what the surrounding areas outside of that are. Let's use these things to our advantage. They have a huge benefit, but let's not forget to use our own senses. They have lasted for thousands and thousands and thousands of years to get us to the point where we are. And let's build on that with technology now, kind of like hand in hand. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this short podcast. I'm going to be putting out more content very soon. If you'd like to subscribe and follow us, I would appreciate it greatly. You can see this video version on YouTube, and the podcast is available on Spotify, iTunes, podcasts, and pretty much wherever you could find podcasts available.